Hi everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm joined by Turner Classic Movies' Ben Mankiewicz and former writer for The Daily Show and 7th place winner of the Robert De Niro Lookalike Contest. It is Steve Rosenfield.
Remember that joke from last week?
That's right, and the week before. It never gets old, and so, or it gets old, but it's still funny. Like me. So, right now I was watching CNN, and I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there's a push for legalization of marijuana, and there's also a push to get douchebags who keep repeating 50-year-old talking points to come on TV to talk about marijuana. And here up, I was watching CNN with Piers Morgan, and he brought on Patrick Kennedy, who was the congressman, famous Kennedy family. He was a congressman for 10 or 12 years from Rhode Island, and he actually was, he suffered some substance abuse. Right, and he came out to talk against.
You said he was a Kennedy.
Yeah, ha ha ha.
Redundant.
Yeah.
So here he is speaking out about against substance abuse shortly after he quit abusing substances. Let's hear what he has to say.
Reducing the kind of perception of harm of marijuana, which is what's really out there now, thanks to all this movement towards legalization.
Yeah. It's this move towards legalization that made, those people who move things towards legalization based on facts and logic and rational thinking.
They must be stopped.
That something's got to happen. Let's go. Okay, he wants to go back to the days when we demonized marijuana while getting messed up on booze. Remember those days?
Good times.
But he has the numbers to back it up.
Yes, he does have the numbers to back it up. Let's go to the. Well, first of all. He does make a lot of sense. Like when I was on drugs, I smashed up my car. Therefore, if you legalize marijuana, everyone will drive like an asshole. And that's what he's trying to say.
Because he's a terrible driver.
He is a terrible driver. Okay, so let's see what the next clip.
That more people will use, Piers, and if more people use like I did when I was a teenager, 9 out of 10 addicts, which I became, started when they were teenagers.
And do you know that 9 out of 10 addicts started as teenagers? Do you know that 10 out of 10 people who use bullshit statistics are full of shit? Did you know?
100%.
Here's how this sounds bad. Right? He says 9 out of 10 addicts started when they were teenagers. That makes it sound like, you're like, oh my God, 9 out of 10 kids who try marijuana are becoming. No, that's not what that means. That means nothing, in fact. It means nothing. It means that addicts started young.
And here's what else 9 out of 10 addicts did as teenagers. Drank coffee.
Yes.
Rode the bus.
Right.
Jerked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the bus.
Right. Right. Yeah, totally. Right. If we eradicate jerking off on the bus, we could end the drug problem in America right now. Yeah. That's what Patrick Kennedy said.
This is what Patrick...
His words.
These are his, these are his words.
Yeah.
Let me see what this third was. So he's got more to say. Let's go, Patrick Kennedy.
And no one can argue to me that this move will increase the number of young people who will end up using this because they don't think it's any big deal because of this notion that it's medical.
Yeah, this notion that it's medical based on the fact that it actually helps aid patients and cancer patients not waste away. That notion.
Yeah, that crazy, silly notion that it's medical. I love it when guys, to get back to the statistics, guys who don't know anything about statistics start using statistics. The greatest thing my dad ever taught me, literally, was to be a baseball fan. Because I know you get statistics when you're 7 years old,
right,
when you understand baseball. And this, Patrick
Kennedy.
Archimedes Kennedy here, the George Boole of the Kennedy family is just sort of, George Boole, it didn't really go over as well as I thought it would. Famous British mathematician George Boole, anyone?
Oh, wow.
Boolean theory? Huh?
Oh,
huh?
now you got me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for clearing it up.
He does have a point because when people start using marijuana as teenagers, it inevitably leads to hanging out, getting stoned, and laughing, and eventually fond memories of hanging out, getting stoned, and laughing. So we have to...
We have to stop memories.
Those are very...
It's dangerous. Then you start looking back on those sort of carefree, halcyon days of high school, and you get bummed out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It leads to suicide.
it does lead to, but in reverse.
I can't get high anymore. So that makes you depressed.
So now they bring on some guy to throw around some more bullshit statistics. Let's listen.
This is actually about kids, people vulnerable for addiction. 1 in 6 kids who try pot will become addicted.
Okay, again, 9 out of 10 of the 20 people are 100% full of shit who say stuff like that. I just can't get over this. 1 out of 6 people who try marijuana become addicted. And what happens when you become addicted? You become mildly smiling all day? What does that mean, you become addicted?
Also, there's a great story in Salon about a guy who did marijuana every day, heavy user for 13 years. And it's the same as every other story of anyone of people who tried to quit marijuana. And here's what happens when you quit marijuana when you're a heavy user, near as I can tell. That you have like a really bad weekend where you don't get a lot of sleep. And then you're fine. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it's rough. It's really tough that weekend. You might sleep 2-3 hours and you'll be cranky to the people you love. And then by like Tuesday, I feel okay.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's quitting marijuana. I mean, first of all, that's from what I understand, quitting cigarettes that easy.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Nothing to it.
And
Nothing
booze,
to it.
please. You just stop. Just quit.
Well, let me tell you something. I've quit smoking cigarettes, and that is hard. But I can't tell you how hard it is to quit smoking pot, because I just can't muster up.
We may never know.
We may never find out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a pothead.
you lack courage and you lack character.
I do lack all those things.
You can't let an entire generation become groggy. You can't do it.
So, it's just weird to see a generation of news people lying to kids about marijuana the way the previous generation of news people lied to kids about. And you got to be honest with kids about drugs. And the reason I say that is because I don't have any kids. But I would like to think I would be honest with my kids if I ever had a kid, and I would tell them about marijuana and be like, all right, I'm your dad. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you smoke pot. Eventually, you're going to develop a tolerance, and then you're going to have to take a break from smoking every once in a while just so you can get a buzz. Now, are you willing to go through that kind of a nightmare? Because that makes 2 of us.
You can relay that information to my daughter whenever you like.
Okay, we'll love to.
So Patrick Kennedy works for this. He runs this organization called Project SAM.
Yeah.
You know about this smart approaches to marijuana.
Oh, yeah?
And in their not even a small defense, maybe even a bigger defense, they don't want people locked up.
Okay, good.
So but they don't want it to be legal either. And their alternative is, let's get some alternatives. Like, they don't really have it. They're like, treatment.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Yeah, I don't want it to be legal. Well, if it's not legal, you're going to still put people in prison
then
for it.
It's going to be illegal, and we
Yes.
have a remedy to deal with illegality in this country.
Yeah, so you can't play both. You can't come out and scare the shit out of parents about marijuana and being a friend.
Here's the one thing
Go
though
ahead.
that I found in doing this research that will disturb all 3 of us.
Okay.
I'm sure equally. It's the best argument against legalization there is. A consultant's report to Brown and Williamson. And this is what they wrote. The use of marijuana has important implications for the tobacco industry in terms of an alternative product line. We have the land to grow it, the machines to roll it and package it, and the distribution to market it. Like, right? No, definitely. But I'm like, I don't want Brown and Williamson. I don't want the R.J. Reynolds company and Brown and Williamson to get their paws into marijuana.
Oh, they're getting it. They're in.
They're in it. They'll in it.
They'll
they'll exploit it, and there'll be ads, and they'll make $1 gazillion.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, here's the worst argument. Piers Morgan finally wakes up and says, well, how can you make marijuana legal when booze, which is much worse than marijuana, is already legal? And here's what this guy says back.
Alcohol has a long history of widespread accepted use in our culture, dating back to before the Old Testament. Marijuana does not have that kind of widespread history. So I don't see why, just because alcohol is legal, marijuana will be.
Yeah, again, that's one of those beautiful, like you said, hey, we used to think like this in the 1500s, so we should still think like this now.
Yeah, I don't think you understand. People got hammered in the year 8. Right? Yes. So now we need to have like 8 liquor stores on the corner in every sort of depressed neighborhood in America. Right.
Yes, lining the streets, liquor stores in bad neighborhoods.
Jesus liked wine. Jesus didn't get high. Case closed. I got nothing more to say.
That's exactly what he's saying, right?
That's right. That's what